And the scores are in.
Good afternoon, welcome to Final Score. You'll get all the goals as they go in this afternoon in the company of Garth, Crooks and Dion, Dublin. But we start with the sad news that the former Spurs, Wolves, Bradford and Southampton defender Dean Richards has passed away. He was just 36. And not only, Dion, did you play against him numerous times over the course of your career, he was somebody that you knew off the pitch as well.
Yeah, I'm still in disbelief. You know, I'm still in disbelief that a young lad that I know reasonably well is not here no longer. I see his face there on that still, and I think, well, he should be here. He added so much to the game of football in this country, the way he played it, the way he conducted himself, and yeah, no more words really.
There are fans who've besieging Twitter and Facebook and other internet sites this afternoon. Every club that he played for, he was very popular with the fans.
Yeah, and it's at times like this you see the family of football, the supporters, mostly in this day and age to the social network sites, just how they feel for a particular individual. And I think Dion captures the mood of the man very, very well. And I think that's reflecting amongst football fans right across the country right now.
Here are the scores in the Premier League games that are taking place this afternoon. And there are 5 of them going on. Aston Villa lead Blackburn by 3-0. Everton are 2-0 up on Sunderland. Jermaine Beckford had a hand in both of them, scored the second. He's been credited with the first, although it may be given to Titus Bramble. Newcastle, down to 10 men, are level 1-1 with Bolton. Daniel Sturridge with the Bolton goal. Wigan are now 2-0 down to Manchester United, and Wolves 2-0 up on Blackpool. Matt Jarvis and Jamie O'Hara with the goals. DJ Campbell has been sent off for the visitors. Let's go straight to the DW Stadium and find out about Manchester United's second goal from Damian Johnson.
Yes, it's gone to the scorer of the first goal, Javier Hernandez, who's in for Dimitar Berbatov this afternoon. The league leaders ahead 2-0 now, but they've not had it all their own way by any means. Wigan really set their stall out at the start of what is a crucial period for them in their challenge to stay in the Premier League. Hernandez with a smart near-post finish in the first half put United in front. He's just poached a second, sliding the ball under Al-Habsi. No Berbatov, as I said, but 3 fine saves from Van der Sar have denied Wigan something out of the game. It looks like United heading to a bigger lead at the top of the Premier League. They lead 2-0.
And as Damien alluded to there, Dion, they certainly haven't had it all their own way in this game.
Not at all, but that's what Man United do. They just persevere. They just keep passing and play the way that they do. You know, they have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. But if plan A is working for them, they'll continue doing it. With that finish there, Hernandez's movement's superb. He's gone in between the 2 centre halves. He's made the 2 centre halves, which is a cardinal sin in football, crossover.
Alcaraz and Calderwell.
Yes.
The moment it goes through from Rooney into Hernandez, it's over. It really is over because he's so composed at that stage and just passes it past the goalkeeper. So it's a great move.
We're going to go to Molineux next. It's Wolves against Blackpool. And John Anderson, the game has been very good, but beforehand it was a very subdued Molineux because of the Dean Richards news.
Of course it was, Mark, and you know, it's a dark, dark way to start proceedings here. We learnt of the news of Dean Richards' tragic death just an hour or two before kick-off, and the club will pay full tribute to him, incidentally, at next weekend's match against Tottenham Hotspur, who, of course, are another of Dean's former clubs. But at the moment, Wolves are looking as if they're going to dig themselves off the foot foot of the Premier League table. It's been an extremely one-sided game. Matt Jarvis put Wolves ahead after only 2 minutes, finishing off a super move down the right-hand side with a lovely side foot finish. DJ Campbell then got himself sent off, stupidly so, thrusting 2 hands into the face of Wolves defender Richard Stearman just before half-time, and he was punished 9 minutes into the second half when Jamie O'Hara surged forward, hit a low shot into the corner of the net, and it looks as if Wolverhampton Wanderers, who have such trouble this season in defeating teams in the bottom half, are going to claim all 3 points, and with it they will be off the foot. It's Wolves 2, Blackpool 0.
Rotherham have lost their last 5 away league games, but they're back level at the Pirelli. It's 2-2 with Burton. Marcus Marshall with the goal. It's got a bit better for Peter Reid. Plymouth deducted 10 points during the week. Bottom of League One. They've conceded an own goal today. They're down to 10 men, but they are 2-1 up. Boalisi from the penalty spot means it's 2-1 there. And Yeovil have taken the lead at Prenton Park against Tranmere. Ollie Johnson with that goal. Harry Kane on loan from Spurs has pulled one back for Leyton Orient at Huddersfield. 2-1 to Huddersfield at the Gal Farm. Back to the Premier League. We talked about Javier Hernandez getting 2 goals for Manchester United. So far, Richard Askham, Jermaine Beckford has been credited with both Everton goals this afternoon.
Has he? I'm not sure from where I was sitting, Mark, but he certainly created the first, if not scored it. Titus Bramble, just covering, might have got the final touch. But he scored the second goal. He's been very, very sharp all game as Beckford. He's just been replaced, by the way, by Tim Cahill, who with 7 goals in 10 matches against Sunderland. The visitors won't exactly be breathing a sigh of relief that Mr Cahill is on the pitch, but Everton have been excellent today, really slick. Mikel Arteta in midfield looks as though he's back to his best, and but for a Sessegnon strike superbly tipped onto the bar by Tim Howard, Sunderland have rarely sparked into life. Everton 2, Sunderland 0 at the moment.
9-man Stockport struggling to hold on to the lead at Bradford. Peter Taylor's side in his last game in charge have brought it level at Valley Parade. Steve Williams with the goal, 16 minutes to go there. Portsmouth have increased their lead at Ipswich through David Cottrell. David Nugent got the first goal. So it's Ipswich 0, Portsmouth 2. There's been a goal at Molineux. John Anderson and Blackpool back in it.
No, they're not. Wolves have wrapped it up. 3-0 they lead, and it was created down the right-hand side by a player who hasn't scored a goal today but has been absolutely outstanding with his work rate and commitment. Kevin Doyle, it was his cross in from the right-hand side, and substitute Sylvain Ebanks-Blake with the easiest task in the world, just to touch the ball over the line from 2 yards. 10-man Blackpool absolutely down and out now. Wolves heading off the foot of the Premier League table, and in some style. It's Wolverhampton Wanderers 3, Blackpool 0.
Yeah, not only heading off the foot of the Premier League table, heading out of the relegation zone altogether, because if they win by 3 clear goals, they will have a goal difference of -16. West Brom's is -17. Both sides will be on 28 points, but it'll be West Brom in the bottom 3, along with Wigan and West Ham. Ryan Lowe is Bury's top scorer, and he scored again for them this afternoon at Gig Lane. They now lead Crewe by 3 goals to 1. Look at that game at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace 3, Reading 3. We will get the details from Mark Webber on that in a moment, after we found out about another goal at Villa Park. Ivan Gaskell.
Yes, it's gone to Blackburn Rovers. I think no more than a consolation. We're inside the last 10 minutes here. It came from almost nowhere. Nikola Kalinic with a looping shot from distance, and it's utterly flat-footed. Brad Friedel, but it has been, before that moment, a pretty comfortable ride for a Villa side whose season appears to have turned a corner in recent weeks. They slowly assumed control in the first half, very slowly in the case of rather one-paced Frenchman Robert Perez, but 37 will forgive him for that. His influence on the ball, though, did grow, as has Villa's hold on the game, underlined by 3 second-half goals. First, Ashley Young's penalty, then 2 in 2 minutes, Hanley's in-off own goal, Stuart Downing's long-distance, lonely run, but accomplished finish in a pretty accomplished Villa performance, 3-1.
Before Ivan rudely interrupted, I was in the middle of a really smooth link to the game at Selhurst Park. I really can't be bothered to do it a second time. So, Mark Webber, tell us about the game.
Crystal Palace 3, Reading 3. No one will want a refund from this one, Mark. More ding-dong than Big Ben at midnight. More swing than the swingometer on the Irish election. Generous people at Crystal Palace and Reading players. The game's been littered with opportunities on a platter from the opposition. Palace racing ahead 2-0. Darren Ambrose and Neil Dan's getting them. But the royal recovery began. Jimmy Kebe making it equaliser at 2-2. Palace's response from that was a pick that one out of the net moment. Jermaine Easter defying the laws of gravity to curl the ball in from a narrow angle, but the Royals weren't sitting down. Noel Hunt's just used his head. Crystal Palace 3, Reading 3. We're not going home from this one soon.
Accrington Stanley lead Torquay by a goal to with just 12 minutes to go there. Ian Craney. And next on the Ivan Gaskell show, it's back to Villa Park.
How very rude of me, but I do have to tell you about goals when they go in. 9 minutes to go, and Villa are absolutely home and dry, if indeed there was any doubt about that. Ashley Young with his second goal, a captain's innings for him. Stuart Downing, though, played a significant role in it. On the right, a nice, sensible cross, and Young lashed it in and lashed the ball as it bounced out off the net into the Holt end in celebration, and quite rightly so. 3-1 Villa, and now 4-1 Villa.
Harry Kane only scored 4 minutes ago for Leyton Orient at Huddersfield. He's now been sent off for a second bookable offence. And Clyde, with only 2 wins in Scottish League 3 all season, lead Stranraer by 4 goals to 2. They have 7 minutes to hold on after Ricky Waddle's goal there. One Premier League game that we haven't checked in on so far is at St James's Park. Paul Addison is watching 10-man Newcastle and Bolton level at 1-1.
Yes, it is all square, Mark, and difficult to pick any side that will maybe go on to win this game. Newcastle have suffered since Ryan Taylor was sent off early in the second half for a very rash two-footed challenge on Johan Elmander. That sort of snubbed out Newcastle's attacking threat largely. Before that, in the first half, Kevin Nolan, the Newcastle captain, headed in his 11th goal of the season against his former employers. The equaliser for Bolton came from Daniel Sturridge, his 4th from his long spell from Chelsea, of course. Excellent left-footed finish from the edge of the area. The Newcastle fans are feeling very hard done by this afternoon, but it all stemmed from the sending off of Ryan Taylor. It's a very hot atmosphere, and it's 1-1.
We're going to go back to the DW Stadium, where there's been a 3rd goal of the afternoon. But who's got it? Damien Johnson.
Well, the afternoon wouldn't be complete without a Wayne Rooney goal against Wigan, would it? It was a long ball from Gibson. Berbatov has come on as a substitute in the last few minutes. Unselfishly passed the ball across the face of goal for his strike partner. And there was Rooney to stroke the ball home. United are home and hosed, 3-0.
Would it be fair to say on the Wayne Rooney goal, Dion, that it's inadvisable to try and play the offside trap in the opposition's half?
Very inadvisable.
Not very good when you've got somebody with the knowledge of Berbatov and you've got the pace of Rooney as well. But it's good to see. Berbatov's just come on and, you know, he knows that Rooney needs goals to get him back on song again. And Man United, they're just, you know, I mentioned gears at the start of the show. They just start to go through the gears and just let people know we're here, we're not going to be messing about. This is ours to lose.
But the headlines might be about Hernandez, they might be about Rooney, but they really should be about Edwin van der Sar.
Outstanding. Absolutely from start to finish. 2 magnificent saves, world-class saves in the first half that sets the pattern for the rest of the United's game as far as I was concerned. And he goes from strength to strength. The big question that I have, and I'd like to ask Alex, who's he going to replace Van der Sar with at the end of the season? Because there's lots of good goalkeepers, but there are not many goalkeepers that handle the big stage at Old Trafford. It's a very special stage, and very few can handle it.
Yeah,
he's one of the best.
It's a personality as well. It's a personality as well, isn't it? You have to have the personality to have the weight of the fans on your shoulders as well.
Barthez struggled.
Yes.
It's a question you can ask, but we ain't going to get the answer. AFC Wimbledon, the leaders in the Blue Square Premier, are now 4-1 up on 10-man Altrincham. Drew Broughton with that goal. And we can go to Easter Road in the SPL. Earlier you saw that it was Hamilton 1, Dundee United 1. Dundee United come back against the bottom club. But how's Hibs Inverness looking? Brian McLaughlin.
It's Hibs 1, Cali Thistle 0, 5 minutes left for play. Callum Booth's volley from just outside the box after 58 minutes, giving Hibs a deserved lead. Just prior to that, though, Adam Rooney looked all set to give Cali the lead when clean through, but Stack in the Hibs goal pulled off a wonderful save. Cali pushing hard for an equaliser. 5 minutes left. Hibs 1, Cali Thistle 0.
Phil Brown looking for his first win as Preston manager, and in a big Lancashire derby, James Mason, doesn't look like he's going to get it.
It doesn't, Chappers. Jack Cork, the Burnley player, has just scored with a diving header inside the 6-yard box to send 5,000 Burnley fans away to my left into raptures. It's Preston 1, Burnley 2. Preston did take the lead early on, Barry Nicholson scoring, but Jay Rodriguez equalised, and with only 5 minutes to go, it's Preston 1, Burnley 2.
We'll go to the keep moat shortly to find out about John Eustace's sending off for Watford. The captain has gone at Doncaster, but Damien Johnson, it's raining goals at the DW.
Yeah, it's really harsh on Wigan, actually, but United have got a fourth. It's substitutes at Fabio Da Silva, who was lurking at the far post. The ball cleared a number of Wigan heads. It fell to Da Silva, and there he was to stroke the ball under Al-Habsi. 4-0, slightly flatters United.
So 4-0 for Manchester United at Wigan, as Damien says, it is probably undeserved.
Well, yeah, you know, they don't deserve to be 4 goals down. They've got to counter themselves from what we've seen here. But, you know, again, if you switch off against quality opposition, they'll find the areas to score goals, and Man United are the past masters at that.
OK, Harry Grayshaw, the key moat, tell us about Watford's red card.
Yeah, John Eustace, the captain, is being sent off for a second bookable offence. And a chance here for Doncaster by word. That was desperately close. He was sent off for a second bookable offence. Handball might have been a bit harsh, but there's a wonderful opportunity now for Doncaster to snatch this one. Ewell scored for them. Graham scored for Watford. 1-1, about 7 minutes left.
There is no let-up in the pace at the top of the Championship. Most of the sides in the playoff places winning or have won. Today you'll be able to see it all on the Football League show, 11:30 BBC One this evening. And the leaders are in form at Middlesbrough. Steve Sutton.
Yes, you'll see 3 goals from Queen's Park Rangers, well, at least, because there's still a few minutes left. But Rangers running the clock down now, and Middlesbrough probably hoping that they run it down fairly quickly. It was a patient game in the first half for QPR before Helgeson opened the scoring just before half-time. Just before the hour, he got his second with a close-range header, and then Adel Tarabt, my man of the match, converted from the penalty spot 5 minutes later. That's how it stands. Middlesbrough 0, QPR 3.
Crawley Town are trying to chase down AFC Wimbledon in the Blue Square Premier, and their captain Pablo Mills has scored 4 minutes from time against Barrow. They lead by 3 goals to 2. Back to the Championship. Swansea won earlier. Norwich are winning. QPR are winning. What are Cardiff doing? Naz Premji.
Well, they're holding on here at the KC. Hull City 0, Cardiff City 1. Michael Chopra's second half strike separating the two sides. But my goodness me, Mark, Hull are trying everything, and everything's being thrown at Tom Heaton, appalling the kitchen sink. It really has been all Hull. They've made a couple of substitutions, and just moments ago, Matty Fryatt, he was sliding in from a Liam Rossini cross 6 yards out. If he connected, it was in. But it really is pressure now for the Cardiff backline. They're getting deeper and deeper, trying to hold on to this. They've not played well, but it could be a first ever win at the KC Stadium for the Bluebirds at the moment. Hull City 0, Cardiff City 1.
Lee Bradbury, since he's taken charge of Bournemouth, has seen them win 4 and draw 4. It looks like they're going to win a 5th under him. They lead Dagenham and Redbridge by 2 goals to 1, which is good news for them because the leaders, Brighton, are losing at the MK Dons by 1-0. Next, we're going to go to Brian McLaughlin at Easter Road.
Yeah, we're in the final minute here, but Hibs will collect all 3 points and make it 4 wins out of 4 in February. A second goal of the afternoon. First goal for Lewis Stevenson, a drive from 25 yards, took a deflection on its way, but Ryan Esson had no chance in the Cali Thistle goal, in off the post. Hibs will collect all 3 points. Hibs 2, Cali Thistle 0.
Comfortable win for the League 2 leaders in Scotland. Livingston have beaten Alloa by 4 goals to 0. Let's return to the Championship. The early game was at the Liberty Stadium. It finished Swansea 3, Leeds 0. Here's Andy Barwell.
A big win for Swansea against one of their promotion rivals. A 4th straight victory for Brendan Rodgers' side, and they did it in style with some terrific free-flowing football. Scott Sinclair will take the plaudits for 2 more goals. The first finishing off some good play with Luke Moore. The second from the penalty spot when he sent Kasper Schmeichel the wrong way. And Moore went on to make it 3. Leeds will be unhappy to have been denied a penalty themselves at 1-0 down after what appeared to be handball by Alan Tate, and it wasn't spotted by the match officials. But in truth, Leeds were outplayed. The momentum is with Swansea in the race to be in the top flight.
Adam Lafondra's 112th league goal of the season, it feels like, means that Rotherham are 3-2 up on Burton, and we've got another goal at Molineux, and the Wolves fans are dancing, John Anderson.
They are romping home. 4-0 now. Substitute Sylvain Ebanks-Blake has got his second goal, and it was a good deal more difficult than his first. That was a tap-in. Ball played diagonally into his path. Nice touch with the left foot to bring it under control. Just waited his moment, held off the challenge of Craig Cathcart and drilled it precisely beyond the hapless Richard Kingston and into the corner of the net. And as you mentioned, the goal difference means that Wolves will be not only off the foot of the table, but away from the bottom three. And goal difference, who knows, in the end, could prove crucial in the relegation battle. This is a massive day for Wolves. They're winning by 4-0.
The symmetry has ended in Scottish League 3. Elgin's home record was 1-6 drawn, 1 loss 4. Arbroath's away record was 1-6 drawn, 1 loss 4. It's all gone, though, today. Elgin beating the League 3 leaders by 3-0. Wolves' best performance, best result, Garth, of the season.
Arguably the most important result today. It sends a massive message. Dion and I were just talking about the statements. QPR's obvious win now at Middlesbrough is a massive statement in the Championship, bearing in mind all the top 4 have won. But today Wolverhampton have done a fantastic job. They've taken advantage of a stupid sending off. We've got to. That's the turning point. Without, I think, with Charlie Allen wasn't playing today. Nevertheless, I thought Newcastle would adapt. But the moment the sending off came out with DJ Campbell, it was all over.
There was always a chance of Wolves doing this, though. You know, with a manager like Mick McCarthy, there's always a chance. There's no way that Mick McCarthy's going to say, listen, lads, let's just do what we can and get... He wants to get out. He wants to do as well as he can for these last few games. And he passes that down to his players, Mick McCarthy.
Chance of survival now.
And I tell you, Wolves winning by 4 when Wigan lose by 4, the psychological damage that could do to Wigan.
Completely. They're going to find themselves in a situation that Wolves obviously were in, you know, at the start of today's game. But I think you have to have someone... I keep going on about Mick McCarthy. I really admire the way he is. I really admire the way he manages, and his players respond to him, and they've responded today, really. And what they've got as well, chappers, they've got somebody looking down on them, helping them today.
Go on,
West Ham, West Brom, Birmingham, when they get over the nonsense tomorrow, have got to respond.
You may have just seen Jimmy Smith, the former Chelsea midfielder, equalising for 10-man Leyton Orient at Huddersfield. 2-2 at the Gal Farm there. Ryan Nelson has been sent off for Blackburn. We'll get details of that in just a moment. But the full-time whistle has gone at the next, where it's been an emotional day for the club. And fittingly, they've produced their best results of the season, John Anderson.
Yes, they have. They've beaten Blackpool by 4-0. So on a day which began so painfully with the tragic death of former defender Dean Richards, Wolves have hauled themselves out of the bottom 3 with a one-sided win against a team reduced to 10 men just before half-time. Wolves were out of the traps quickly. A lovely goal to put them ahead after only 2 minutes. Zubar and Hamill combining for a super finish from Matt Jarvis. Then came the turning point. 2 minutes before half-time, DJ Campbell got himself sent off for an idiotic slap on Richard Stearman, and within 9 minutes of the second half, Wolves made him pay. Jamie O'Hara with space to get forward and drive a low 20-yarder into the corner. Substitute Sylvain Ebanks-Blake completed the route with a late double. The first a tap-in, the second rather more difficult, but it all means with the goal difference that Wolves have dragged themselves above West Ham, above Wigan and above West Brom into the dizzy heights of 17th place in the Premier League, and they can begin perhaps to dream of safety. Wolverhampton Wanderers 4, Blackpool 0.
11 league goals to Stuart Fleetwood this...
Defender Grant Hanley. Blackburn, though, showed very little. Nicola Kalinic's late goal, precious little consolation. It's 7 defeats and 8 away games for them now. They're stalling. Villa upwardly mobile.
And next we go to Goodison Park, where David Moyes is looking a lot happier than, well, kind of, I suppose. Anyhow, looking happy-ish. Certainly a lot happier than after their last home game. Richard Askin can tell us about their win over Sunderland.
Yes, he is, Chappers. Sunderland's terrible record against Everton in recent seasons continues. No win in 13 Premier League matches it is now, and they were thoroughly outplayed today with Mikel Arteta back to his best there. Creative heartbeats. Everton's midfield found willing, lively targets in the returning Louis Saha and in particular Jermaine Beckford. Beckford credited with both goals. Titus Bramble diverting his close-range shot into the net for the first. The striker finishing off a brilliant run and cross from Arteta for the second. Everton 3 points above the relegation zone before today, made a complete mockery of their league position. Unfortunately for Sunderland, 7th at the start of play. So did they.
And St James's Park next. There was a lot for Paul Addison to tell us about.
Edge of the area, the Magpies would have felt that they should have been further ahead. Well, it was 1-1 at half-time, and the game changed rather early in the second half when Ryan Taylor, only in the side because Joey Barton was injured in the warm-up, was given a straight red card by the referee Chris Foy for a two-footed dangerous lunge on Johan Elmander. That snuffed out any attacking intent Newcastle had, and it was Bolton who were then on top and felt that they could have gone on and won the match. Martin Petrov in particular had the best chance. A shot cleared off the line. In the end though, a Nile Ranger header disallowed in added on time at the end for offside. Each side settled for a point, and that's just about fair. Finished 1-1.
Peter Taylor's last game in charge of Bradford today, and Gareth Evans, right on 90 minutes, has put them 3-2 up against 9-man Stockport into the Championship. What a result for QPR at Middlesbrough. Steve Sutton.
Yes, Queen's Park Rangers keep up the pace at the top on a day they simply had to get 3 points to maintain their 5-point lead. That was after rivals Swansea had cruised home against Leeds earlier in the day. They had to play the patience game in the first half. It wasn't until the 41st minute before Helge Heiderson's shot took a wicked deflection to loop over the stranded Jason Steele in the Borough goal. Helgeson got the second just after the hour, a close-range header before Adel Tarabt finished it as a contest from the penalty spot a few moments later. QPR stay top. Middlesbrough continue to flirt with danger at the other end. Middlesbrough 0, QPR 3.
QPR have won then, Swansea won earlier, and Cardiff have won as well. Naz Premji.
They certainly have, Mark. Hull City 0, Cardiff City 2. It's a landmark day for the Bluebirds, a first ever win here at the KC Stadium. The decisive moments coming in the second period. Kevin McNaughton with a cross and a glancing header from Michael Chopra. That was 1-0. Before that, Hull had their chances. Matty Fryatt, Rob Corrin and Nicky Barmby all went close. And in the dying embers of the game, injury time, substitute J. Emmanuel Thomas. Watch this goal on the Football League show. He was in the area. He danced with the ball for about 10 minutes before lashing in a left-hand volley into the bottom corner. Super goal from J.E.T. as he's pronouncedly known. But Hull City 0, Cardiff City 2, and Cardiff keep up the pace at the sharp end.
As do Norwich. The form from the promotion-chasing sides at the top of the Championship is phenomenal. Alan Biggs has seen them win at Barnsley.
Yeah, they've won comfortably by 2-0. A performance of real class and composure, this from the Canaries, with nobody demonstrating that better than match winner Andrew Crofts. It's 8 goals from midfield for him this season, and 2 of those coming here late in the first half. A diving header and then an absolute beauty. And for this as well, I commend you to watch the Football League show. Even for this alone tonight, a flick with the right foot, a sharp turn, a devastating shot with the left foot from the edge of the area. Rare quality outside the highest levels of the game. It's finished Barnsley 0, Norwich 2.
And it means that you can't afford to slip up. This time last week, Nottingham Forest was second in the Championship. This evening, they're 5th because they could only draw at Millwall. Tony Husband.
Highlights on show here at the New Den. A scrappy game, lacking quality. Forest promotion push clearly being disrupted by injuries to key players. A reshuffled 11 had the better of the chances here. Substitute Gareth McCleary going close in the second half. Millwall battled hard. They're sitting in mid-table, and New Sense boss Kenny Jackett is pretty satisfied with that position. Millwall 0, Nottingham Forest 0.
Only a point for Sven's Leicester as well, Lindsay Hooper.
Yes, the share of the spoils here. Leicester 1, Coventry 1, the full-time result. It was Marlon King who put Coventry ahead in the 14th minute. Jukovic cut back the ball. He made no mistake. Carl Norton with a net-bulging strike just on the stroke of half-time on 45 minutes. In the last few minutes here, Martin Craney got sent off, so Coventry down to 10. But they only had really 5 minutes, Leicester, to make advantage of that, and they couldn't really. Sol Bamba did hit the post in the second half, which was the best chance. But really, a fair result. Leicester 1, Coventry 1, full-time.
It's exactly 5 o'clock. Let's get the classified football results now on BBC Two with Tim Gudgin.
And Kicking off with the Barclays Premier League results, Aston Villa 4, Blackburn Rovers 1. Everton 2, Sunderland 0. Newcastle United 1, Bolton Wanderers 1. Wigan Athletic 0, Manchester United 4. Wolverhampton Wanderers 4, Blackpool 0. In the Empire Championship, Barnsley 0, Norwich City 2. Bristol City 2, Scunthorpe United 0. Crystal Palace 3, Reading 3. Doncaster Rovers 1, Watford 1. Hull City 0, Cardiff City 2. Ipswich Town 0, Portsmouth 2. Leicester City 1, Coventry City 1. Middlesbrough 0, Queen's Park Rangers 3. Millwall 0, Nottingham Forest 0. Preston North End 1, Burnley 2. Sheffield United 0, Derby County 1. And Swansea City 3, Leeds United 0. In League One, Brentford 1, Bristol Rovers 0. Carlisle United 0, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Dagenham and Redbridge 1, AFC Bournemouth 2. Exeter City 1, Hartlepool United 2. Huddersfield Town 2, Leyton Orient 2. Milton Keynes Dons 1, Brighton Hove Albion 0. Oldham Athletic 0, Peterborough United 5. Plymouth Argyle 2, Colchester United 1. Southampton 4, Swindon Town 1. Tranmere Rovers 0, Yeovil Town 1. And Walsall 0, Rochdale 0. In League 2, Accrington Stanley 1, Torquay United 0. Aldershot Town 1, Port Vale 2. Barnet 4, Lincoln City 2. Bradford City 3, Stockport County 2. Burton Albion 2, Rotherham United 4. Bury 3, Crewe Alexandra 1. Chesterfield 0, Morecambe 2. Macclesfield Town 0, Wycombe Wanderers 1. Oxford United 0, Hereford United 2. Shrewsbury Town 0, Gillingham 0. Southend United 1, Northampton Town 1. And Stevenage 4, Cheltenham Town 0. In the Blue Square Premier, AFC Wimbledon 4, Altrincham 1. Bath City 2, Southport 1. Crawley Town 3, Barrow 2. Fleetwood Town 0, Eastbourne Borough 1. Forest Green Rovers 4, Tamworth 0. Hayes and Yeading United 1, York City 2. Histon's match with Rushton and Diamonds postponed. Kettering Town 2, Newport County 0. And Kidderminster 1, Wrexham 0. In the Clydesdale Bank Scottish Premier League, Aberdeen 0, Hearts 0. Hamilton Academical 1, Dundee United 1. Hibernian 2, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 0. And Kilmarnock 2, St Mirren 0. The Arnbrew Scottish Division 1, Dundee 1, Greenock Morton 1. Falkirk 2, Cowdenbeath 0. Queen of the South 1, Dunfermline Athletic 3. Wraith Rovers 2, Stirling Albion 1. Ross County 0, Partick Thistle 0. Scottish Div 2, Ayr United 2, Brechin City 0. East Fife 0, Airdrie United 1. Forfar Athletic 2, Dumbarton 1. Livingston 4, Alloa Athletic 0. Stenhouse Muir 4, Peterhead 2. And Scottish Div 3, Albion Rovers 0, Berwick Rangers 1. Annan Athletic 2, East Stirlingshire 1. Clyde 4, Stranraer 2. Elgin City 3, Arbroath 2. And Montrose 0, Queen's Park 2. In the Welsh Cup quarter-finals, Gap Connors Quay 4, UWIC 0. Llanellis match with Prestatyn Town postponed. Port Talbot Town 0, Bangor City 3. New Saints match with Cardiff Grange. The final result, after extra time, New Saints 2, Cardiff Grange 0. In the Carling Premiership, Ballymena United 0, Donegal Celtic 3. Coleraine 3, Newry City 1. Dungannon Swifts 1, Lisbon Distillery 2. Glenavon 2, Linfield 2, Glentoran 0, Cliftonville 0, and Portadown 0, Crusaders 1.
Obviously, Rugby Union going on as well today in the Six Nations at the Stadio Flaminio in Rome. It finished Italy 16, Wales 24. England against France, live on BBC One at the moment. Both sides can still win the Grand Slam, and it's pointless. Tomorrow, live on BBC Two, Scotland host Ireland, and coverage starts from 2:30. Let's see what all the football results have done to the tables. Manchester United, the only side in top 6 action today. They took full advantage. Their lead at the top now back to 4 points. Bolton up 1 place to 7th at the expense of Sunderland, while Everton boss David Moyes will be relieved to see his team climb into the top half of the table for the first time this year. Wolves are out of the bottom 3 thanks to that emphatic victory over Blackpool. Ian Holloway's men now drop to 14th, just 4 above the drop zone. Wigan could find themselves propping up the whole table at the end of the weekend if West Ham managed to take 3 points off Liverpool tomorrow. QPR won at Middlesbrough to maintain their 5-point grip at the top of the Championship. Swansea disposed of Leeds at lunchtime to stay second, a point clear of Cardiff, who also won. Norwich 2 points further back following their win at Barnsley. Nottingham Forest, Leeds and Leicester all drop points, and so they slip off the pace as a result. Preston lost for a 19th time this season, and they're now 11 points from safety. Sheffield United's woeful run of form also continues. They lost at home and have now also been cut adrift. Scunthorpe were also beaten and they stayed 22nd. Crystal Palace threw away a 2-goal lead to draw at home to Reading, but that point does move them 4 clear of the drop zone. There's no change in the top 2 of League One, but Bournemouth closed the gap on Brighton to 1 point. Peterborough, Southampton and MK Dons all won today and strengthened their grip on the playoff spots. Plymouth are rooted to the foot of the table following their 10-point deduction earlier this week, but today's win has given them hope of a great escape. They're now just 5 points from safety. Walsall earned a valuable point, but were unable to escape the drop zone, while Dagenham and Redbridge and Bristol Rovers both suffered more costly defeats. Chesterfield's advantage at the top of League Two has been trimmed to 6 after they lost at home to lowly Morecambe. Wickham stay second, but improved their promotion claims with a win. Rotherham also won to swap places with Shrewsbury, who could only draw. Bury, Port Vale and Gillingham complete the playoff places. Stockport were beaten by fellow strugglers Bradford, so slumped to the foot of the Football League after Barnet beat Lincoln to climb out of the relegation zone. Burton remain without a win in 2011 and slip into the drop zone after losing today. In the Blue Square Premier, no change in the top 2, who both won. Wrexham stay third after that defeat at Kidderminster, who leapfrog Fleetwood into the playoff spots. At the bottom, Eastbourne Borough earned a priceless 3 points today, but stay bottom. Barrow and Altrincham both lost and make up the remaining relegation spots along with Histon. Neither Celtic nor Rangers are in action until tomorrow, so Celtic remains 6 clear at the top of the SPL. Hearts missed out on their chance to move into second after drawing at Aberdeen. Kilmarnock strengthened their grip on 4th after victory. At the bottom, Hamilton drew to close the gap on St Mirren to 7 points. Let's look at the Premier League headlines from this Saturday afternoon. Blackpool failed to recover from Matt Jarvis's second-minute goal as Wolves not only climb off the foot of the table but are also out of the bottom 3. A Jamie O'Hara goal and 2 from Sylvan Ebanks-Blake put the icing on an emphatic win. DJ Campbell sent off for the visitors in the first half of violent conduct. They call him the young. Jermaine Beckford scores his first Premier League double to lift Everton clear of trouble, although the Sunderland defender Titus Bramble did play a huge part in the opener. The Black Cats have now lost 4 league games on the spin. And Bolton, and you can catch all the Premier League action on Match of the Day this evening. Join Gary Lineker from 10:20. And then straight after it, as the action in the Championship hots up, all the Football League action from 11:30 on the Football League show. And we've got live football for you tomorrow. The Carling Cup final, Arsenal against Birmingham City. All the build-up from 3 on BBC One. And then with Manchester City hosting Fulham and Liverpool at West Ham in the Premier League, you can join Colin Murray for Match of the Day 2, 10 o'clock on BBC 2. The story of the day, though, for so many reasons, both good and sad, came at Molineux. Wolves winning by 4-0 against 10-man Blackpool. And it was a good performance on a sad day, Steve Wilson.
Oh, excellent performance by Wolves, Mark. No doubt about it. It must be Blackpool's worst performance of the season. I know they got a hammering at Arsenal early on in the campaign, but, you know, anyone can get hammered at the Emirates. They were really, really poor today, Blackpool, missing Charlie Adam, who started a 2-match suspension, and they just never got going. As you said earlier, Matt Jarvis scored after 2 minutes, and it never got any better for them. DJ Campbell stupidly sent off just before half-time, but they were out of sorts and looking a beaten side before then. And Jamie O'Hara continues to enjoy his loan spell here. Good goal from him, made it 2-0 early in the second half. And Sylvain Ebanks-Blake came off the bench to score a couple late on. And to be honest, I wouldn't say it could have been a cricket score, but it might have been a rugby score. Wolves had lots of chances, which they didn't take. 4-0 was just sort of beginning to reflect how dominant they were today. Good day for them, out of the bottom 3. Big lift for their goal difference. And the biggest crowd at Molineux in 8 years as well.
Steve, thank you very much. Catch all the goals on Match of the Day this evening. That the performance of the day for you?
Without doubt. I said before the start of the game that they might adapt, Blackpool. No Charlie Adams. When they adapt, they're very good. They didn't adapt, and they suffered as a consequence.
It goes to show, sorry, Mark, it goes to show that he is the absolute catalyst. He's the backbone to that side.
And on a sad day, a big win for Wolves, a big win for Southampton, and a last-minute winner for Bradford seems rather appropriate.
You know, he's gone, but he's looking down on his old teams and making sure they do well. He'll be missed, but he's still looking down on us.
Dion, Garth, thank you very much for your company. That's it from Final Score. Bye-bye.